Okay. I'm trying to connect to Johnny Cochran's law firm, and I don't know where they at. But my sister said she used their law firm for her disability or whatever. So I'm trying to make sure that they don't have anything against me, because sometimes people lie and stuff like that just to get money. So I'm trying to figure out. Um, see, look, I'm online. So I'm online trying to find out to make sure my LLC is not jeopardized due to someone who has problems with financial problems and involving me in their financial problems. So that's what I'm trying to find. Because, like I said, I should have been up and going. And when people see that you have money, they will try to falsify claims. So I'm trying to see if I have been a victim of that through my family members. Okay, let's see. And to see if my LLC has been a victim of that. It says Big Rapids, or Bloomfield Hills. I think this is in Michigan. Monroe. These are all, I think, all offices that it says Oak Park, Plymouth. My daughter work in Plymouth, so it said Clinton Township, Dearborn. So I don't know. Retford, Romulus. So it says Romulus. So I guess they cover Romulus. So I'm just trying to see. It says finding a lawyer about the laws. So I don't know. It says accident and injuries, car accident, personal injuries, medical malpractice. That's a lot of that going on in Michigan. Collections, sexual harassment, termination, wrongful termination. That happened to me a couple of times, but we was able to scratch it from the record. Work compensation, workers compensation. That's what I went to church, court to see. Which my brother James Miller was over me at the time when all this was happening, so my family would know what happened in the courtroom or what was said and stuff like that. I wasn't there to witness or whatever what was going on in the courtrooms and stuff. So right to this day I still don't know what was said, what was ordered. Little bits and pieces, but not all. So just imagine how being left in the dark where you don't know what's going on, and somebody can, people can have panic attacks and stuff like that. But I try to not to have them because I know I'm okay with certain things that they, I'm secured in the Word of God. So a lot of people lie, cheat, steal, everything, but you just gotta know God is God, and He'll work it out for you. That whatever you feel as though it's not being worked out is being worked out. So that's what I believe in. So, okay. So it says guardianship. Okay. So we don't know if people then took guardianship of me and my daughter, legal and financial situations, and you know what I'm saying. So we don't know none of that. Schwartz Law Firm. They got Schwartz Law Firm 248-579-9253. So we don't know, because every time I turn around, somebody is on my pages and blocking my stuff. So I don't know. Uh, so I don't know what's going. It says Burn Brancham Legal Group. Brancham Legal Group. I don't know. Estate Planning Law Services, Romulus, Michigan. See, I don't know what law firm Alexa Pittman got her education from. So I don't know. So maybe the church probably put something illegal on me, saying that I stole something or something like that. I wasn't even the trustee. Ursula and Miss Pitts was it Miss Pitts? Ursula and Miss Pitts was the trustee. And they handle all the money, tithes and offerings and stuff like that, money that belongs to the church. But other than that, that's just like Miss who was over on Union Grove, Miss Mays. Shoot, I don't know, Miss Mays. I never knew who was trustee for Union Grove Baptist Church. I just paid my tithes and offerings, you know. And then when you get your summary, it's supposed to add up at the end of the year. But I don't know. I don't know who was the tax person for the church, and I don't know who's the tax people for these churches. That's the only thing. So, but I know I pay my tithes and offering. That's all I'm supposed to do. But if I'm a LLC and I report that I'm giving tithes and offerings and giving donations to the church, if my donations is going through the church, then the IRS should have had my name down there a couple of times, you know, donating money. But sometimes it don't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, God will work it out. You know, sometimes you're going to go through some terrible storms. But just know you can stand through them. You know, and I was able to almost let go, though. It got so heavy on me. But I was able to stand through the storm again. So it's been now 8 years. It's been 8 years since my attempted suicide of struggling with principalities and, you know what I'm saying, strongholds trying to hold me down. You know, family members is just jealous over the fact that you're making it, you know, so family and friends and neighbors, you know, so when you got family, friends, and neighbors attacking you, whoo, Lord, you say, oh, I've been in their life all their life, and now all of a sudden I'm getting attacked. You say, wow, you know. But God is still great. He's still faithful. You know what I'm saying? He's faithful to the ones who's being faithful to him, you know. So that's how I see it. Rather they got me on site or got me on live media or whatever, you know. He's still faithful to me. And I still love him. I still love the Lord Jesus, you know. Like I said, he said God can only love a person like me that's after his heart, you know. So he said, I'm chasing them, I'm running after him and seeking. He that diligently seek him. So that's what I've been doing, diligently seeking him. You know, asking him to hold on to me. Don't let me go, because if you let me go, I'm belong to the devil. I ain't coming back. That's how you got to say that. Be like, Lord, I ain't coming back. I'm gonna stay out there. So yeah. But he's been good through the years. He's been good to me, helping me raise my daughter, Kylie Lamara Holmes. You know, her father named her because she's been. I lost the bet, and he said, "You gonna have a girl," and I didn't believe him, and I said, "No, I'm gonna have a boy," because I picked his name out and everything. You know, Zane Zacharias. And I was going to name him Zane Zacharias. Well, Zane Lamar Zacharias. I was going to name him. I had the name picked out and everything for a boy. And he said, you ain't having a boy. We having a girl, because he wanted a girl. Didn't believe it until his grandmother from California called me and said that I was having a girl. And then that's when, you know, I said, well, he got his wish. He got his little baby girl. So he got his wish. You know, I said, well, he got his wish. Kylie Lamar Holmes was born June 15, 1995, 11:26 p.m. She was born before midnight. She almost was born on her brother DeAndre's birthday. So he came in the room after he came from out of the, you know, they put me in the room and then he came afterwards because he followed the baby with the camcorder. in the delivery room in the nursery. And he said, shoot, I'm following my baby. I said, okay. He said, do you know she almost was born on DeAndre's birthday? I said, for real? And I went back to sleep. I was so heavy drugged up. I was tired. That birth wore me out. My daughter's birth wore me out. But he said, baby, we did it. We did it. And I was like, we did. And I fell right back to sleep. I said, and he looked over there. He thought I was having, because my doctor said, you having twins. I said, oh, please don't scare me like that, Dr. Armstead. And he said no, my daughter father peeked over there when I was getting my C-section, right? Because he recorded the whole C-section. He said, what's that is, another baby? He said, no, that's the afterbirth. Men in the delivery room. Yep. Men in the delivery room. I said, shoot, they probably showing that DVD somewhere. They probably done put it up on some type of site, website or something, which her father videotaped it. But my sister Mary sent the video cam to the hospital with my niece Dawn. And then Dawn had to leave, so we had to go get Terrence. Terrence and Phil, Kaya's godfather, came to the emergency room. To the hospital. And I went into labor at like 4:30 in the morning, and got to the hospital. It was like 5 something by the time, but it was like a little after 5 when I went. I was having labor pains, and my sister Tina, I went into labor at my sister Tina's house on Pine, and they call it Little Saigon, and my sister Tina lived over there, and my brother Brian lived with us. And I went into labor, and I lived in Taylor, but I went over my sister's house to have my baby, because she was going to be the one, and her and Dawn was going to be the one to be with me when I had my baby. And my daughter's father was at work, so he was called in from work to come to the hospital. So he came. He called his partner in crime, Phil. Phil came to the hospital with an outfit on, and what's they say? You trying to dress her already? So yeah, it was funny, but he videotaped the whole thing. My daughter's father. My Dawn had to go back and get the kids ready for school, and Tina stayed for a while, and she had to go back and get Fiat ready for school. So we went to go get my older sister Thelma. So Dawn said, I'm going to go get Thelma so she can sit at the hospital with you. So we got Thelma. Thelma came 6 o'clock in the morning. I was still in labor, and she was helping me. And then Mary was at work. She had to be at work at 6. We all worked at Special Tree. I worked at Special Tree. Not Special Tree. I'm sorry. Mary worked at Special Tree at the time. I'm saying I worked at Special Tree. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's at the time. Mary worked at Special Tree, and Mary wanted to come to the hospital, but she couldn't. And she wanted to be the godmother. I gave her an opportunity, but I said, nah, she's too crazy to be the godmother. I will not bring my daughter to that suggestion of that craziness. So Mary, she's not the godmother of my daughter, even though she probably tell people that she's the godmother. But Mary is not the godmother. She has not christened my daughter Kyalea. I kept asking her. I said, "You going to christen her?" Because my godchild been christening Tasha, and I have a godson named Chris, and we christening Chris. You know what I'm saying? I brought both of their outfits and stuff. So my sister Tina was at Tasha's christening, and my friend Gloria was at Gloria and Lanisha and her family, Patricia and all of them, and her husband. They all was at the service of Chris. Christian Roy Chambers, christening. He has 2 godmothers, because both of us is best friends of Lanisha. So with more, just Lanisha said, I'm gonna make you and Gloria the godparents of Chris, and then I guess he got a godfather. I don't know. I think it's Buddy's best friend is his godfather. So I don't know. But I came. I was in a wheelchair. I was in the hospital. I was in a nursing home when Lanisha went into labor, and at that time she was going to school to be a masseuse therapist. And so that's, just to tell the story that I'm telling. She I got a call. Gloria said Lanisha was in labor, and I said okay. And then I called my nephew Corey, and I had my CNAs to get me dressed and put me in a wheelchair, and then we was gone. We at the hospital in Taylor. He was born in Southgate. Chris, he was born in Southgate, and I think Lanisha lived. Where did Lanisha live at? She lived in Taylor, but her husband had built a home, so I think during the process of the 5 years or the 3 years, no, Christian was still a baby. I think they was losing the house or something, foreclosure. He worked for Ford at the time, and she worked for Special Tree. So I ended up getting a job at Special Tree. So we all worked at Special Tree and stuff. So, you know, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Now she has an entertainment company, but I've been doing the entertainment for a couple of years. Before that, prior to that, I was already into entertainment, but I just never knew that God was gonna put me back into entertainment. We used to perform all the time. Me, my nephew Kenny, and Corey, and Rodney, and Fed and Yogi. Our best friend Yogi, one of the members of the group got killed. He got shot up in Romulus, where we lived at. And we lost a great guy. His future would have been so great as a rapper, you know what I'm saying? But Yogi was never forgotten. Then we lost another friend, D, Corey's best friend. And we comfort his mother and stuff. We was there when, they brought him in and they pronounced him dead. Everybody that was, we was just with him, you know what I'm saying? And that's the frightening thing. We was just with him. And we was laughing and joking, and that's why I tell people, stop holding on to hate, stop holding on to hatred. And you'll get mad for a while, but God doesn't want you to hold on to it, because you just never know when a person's gonna leave this world. And I told I said it in the letter of Miss Cece Warren, and I said, holding on to hate, it gives the devil more opportunities to keep adding things to your life. And I told the story about the friends we lost along the way and stuff. So the journey, so it led me up to my journey of really spreading the gospel, spreading truth, and searching for the truth. And I'm so glad that, God never let me go. You know what I'm saying? I let him go, but he didn't let me go. So sometimes you're going to run right back to him, So I started writing more, writing poems and writing more lyrics and stuff like that, and sending it to her to see if they good enough for recording and fundraising, helping the youth of today. Because I shared my story about how I grew up, and what areas I grew up, and how we stuck together and try to help each other out, help families out and stuff like that, and how my mom and my dad was respected in the neighborhood and the community, and how other parents got together and helped each other's kids, and that's how we grew up, you know what I'm saying? Having a community, and a community got to get tired of crime. A community got to get tired of their kids being raped, kidnapped, and everything else. And then that would brings a community together, say no more. And that's what we did in Columbus Homes Projects, So yeah, we had males walking the kids, walking the mothers and the kids to school, guarding them and stuff like that. So we did that, Everybody stuck together. Everybody, made a way out of no way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I'm grateful to that. But yeah. So I was just telling my sister Sharon. She worked for a guy named Russell, and he owns a bar he owned the bar. My brother Todd and Sharon. She was the chef, and my brother was the bartender. He was a manager over the bar, and she was a manager over the kitchen. So they worked for him, and I think his wife was a lawyer or something. I think they Cantonese or something. I don't know, Nigerian or something. But anyway, he would have radio stations, doing the clubs and stuff. He would have shout outs on the radio and stuff like that. So he did a lot of networking with new artists, and new artists coming to Newark and stuff like that. So he started that, doing that, because my brother had been working with the hotel since he was like 19 years old. So he's basically like plumbing. He do electrical. He do all that stuff. My other brother, he was a carpenter, so he helped build buildings, warehouses, and build businesses and all that stuff. So he was a carpenter, where that he worked for big construction companies. You know what I'm saying? So, and they loved his work too. They loved his work, and just like I said, my father did odd jobs. My father was a driver. You know what I'm saying? He was a driver, and at that time in New York, they had like Teamsters, truckers that worked for the Board of Education that rode like trucks, food trucks. It was food trucks, delivery trucks, and stuff like that. So it was like a union. You know what I'm saying? So my father, he was pretty okay with his job. You know what I'm saying? Being a truck driver, he always found work. And whenever my brothers and them couldn't find a summer job, my father would put them on the truck with him, like, come help me deliver this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So my father did odd jobs and everything, and, but he worked in New York, you know what I'm saying? So we lived in New Jersey, but he worked in New York. So my dad, you know what I'm saying? So we had, like, my granddad, he did the same thing. My granddad, he was basically like that, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother, she did odd jobs for people and stuff, cooked, baked, sold, all that stuff. So we just knew coming up that this is what we was taught. We was taught how to do this. We was taught how to survive. We was taught how to make a living without being a burden to someone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I shared that in the letter to say that now everybody has walked away from that. Everybody has walked away from it. The United States had walked away from entrepreneurship. If you think about entrepreneurship is the one that built America. You know what I'm saying? The slaves built America. Ideas of slaves built America, how to build bricks and how to, you know what I'm saying, measurements and cubic square feet and stuff. God gave it to Noah. Noah was like a simple man, you know what I'm saying, that was tilling the grounds, and God gave him knowledge to build a boat to save his family and to save multiple animals, you know what I'm saying, to start the world all over again, because man has sinned against God and on the land. So the man didn't deserve land no more. So God killed the ones that were sinful and saved Noah's family. So we are the generation still in Cain, but we are the good generation of Noah. You know what I'm saying? God killed the sinful generation of Cain, but started off with Noah. Regenerating the new. You know what I'm saying? Separating DNA, the bad from the good. And, so he's still doing it. So I just kind of figured, tell people, know Jesus. That's what he said. He said, come under Jesus, come under the teaching of him, Christ. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. Just wanted to share that. This is 23 minutes and 19 seconds. See y'all later. And again, this is Lisa Holmes. Lisa Lyrics Music at gmail.com. See you later.